Hello. If you're new to Angel's Fall first, you might be a little bit intimidated by space combat and space maps. So I'm going to show you some of the basics. Right now I am in the near bay of the Battleship on my team. And I'm going to just open up the attack map here. You see here I am. And I'm going to use the attack map. This will scroll through the different areas of the map. This is the enemy battleship, which is not boarded, but if it was boarded, then there would be a spawn point here for my team. This is the outpost, which is outside of the map, where you choose a ship and spawn in if there's no battleship for your team. And this is a dropship that's on the map. Another dropship that's on the map. And this is the actual map. So you can scroll through, depending on the map and the game mode you're playing, to see where you can spawn and what's going on at what area of the map. So you see enemy battleship in the center, the team battleship is just kind of floating over here, and all of the other ships flying around. On the lower left, you'll see the locators, so if you want to look for individual teammates, for squads, primary objectives, it'll point you right there. The legend will have icons for all of the infantry, land vehicles, space vehicles, capital ships, carriers, subsystems of ships, and tasks. So this is good for if you're looking at the tab map to see what's going on. You can see this has battleship icon here. This is our Corvette. This little guy here is an interceptor. You get the idea. Very useful for looking at the tag map and see what's out there. Or even while you're flying out in space, you'll just see an icon for an enemy before you can see the ship from a long distance. So it's good to know if you're approaching a fighter or a cruiser. So that's good to keep an eye on. Also general info on the attack map here. Choose your loadout. The attack map itself, scores and actions. To go to manage. This is if you want to devote the commander and try to be a commander yourself. You want to change team. And if you want to leave the match and go to the main menu of the game. Server browser settings. That's all here. And this area just quits out of the tech map if you don't want to press it. Alright, I'm going to show you a little bit about battleships, piloting and strategy. So if you have a battleship, piloting is pretty much the same as using a fighter, only your steering and speed is a lot slower. So you see here, so you have to be a lot more tactical about where you want to be on the map. And retreating, if you need to, is not always a good possibility. So I usually like to keep any physical objects between me and the other team's spawn area, just so I have some cover, and usually just offer cover to an objective rather than to sit directly on an objective. You want to be a little bit defensive with your battleship, just because it's an extra spawn point for your team, and they're pretty hard to come by. So yeah, that's just because of the small, slow steering. It's nice to know that if you hold down Alt, you can free look without steering the ship. You can do the same thing with fighters, but it's a little bit more useful for the larger, slow ships. And yeah, I'm going to open the TAC map just to show you vehicle reward queue for a lot of space maps you get a pretty similar layout. Your first reward is a corvette, and then you get some destroyers, and then a frigate and a battleship. So if you lose the battleship, it is possible to earn enough points to get another one, but that's definitely match dependent on how things go. And it's also good to know that both the frigate and the battleship are spawn points, so you can have one of each in the map at one time and cover a broad area of the map and allow your team to get to spawn to the objectives much quicker. Alright, let's work on the inside. Oh yeah, I'll just go over the HUD. So the lower left, those are all your subsystems. So it's good an idea. You'll, if they take a lot of damage, you'll see there, and you press use to get out of the pilot seat, and you can manually go over to the area's subsystems and repair them if you have a repair toolkit. There's also the core lockouts. I'll show you in the map. There's 3 per battleship, and you need to defend these, but if you're attacking the enemy battleship, you need to destroy all 3 before you can destroy the engine and the ship itself. Alright. And the turrets, you can go up and man them too. And on any of the subsystems, they'll show on here what % health they have. As well, if you're lost in your ship, you can see signs throughout the ship showing how to get to different areas. So we're going to go into the bay. And you'll have dropships available for attacking the enemy battleship and your fighters. I'm going to use a dropship here and tempted to show you boarding the enemy battleship. Using that mode here, so this should be pretty easy. You'll see the breach points on the sides of the ship. And then you can go into the drop pod here. And it opens up access, and now I'm in the enemy's battleship. You'll see instead of shields, there are attacks for the core lockouts. So you can take out the dropship drop pod. In the center, we have 2 turrets on either side you can control. And here's the battleship. So I'm going to steal this. So you just go to the breach point of a battleship or a station if you're attacking a station. Approach it. When it gives the option, press use. And you leave the drop pod behind, and the drop ship flies away. So here's the I left that the drop pod is still there. The enemy team can shoot that, destroy it. That's what they're doing. So what you can do is you can rearm at a battleship or at a rearming bay location like this. We're going to do bombing runs with the bomber. I'm going to have heavy torpedoes in the torpedo slot. Notice their max range is 5 kilometers. And we're in Marine-wide incursion. I'm just going to show off how they are. Torpedoes are effective for taking out static targets. Get too close to the defense here. Did quite a bit of damage there. Now I got all my torpedoes refilled and my armor restored. I can go back for another run. Alright, let's get into piloting basics for fighters. Your controls are pretty similar. WSAD is for going forward, reverse, strafing side to side. Q and E allow you to roll instead of lean left and right. Shift allows you to boost. You'll see in the center lower HUD your speed, and to the right of that the percentage bar of how much boost you have. And to the left of your speed is how much thrust you have. So if you want to be at 20% thrust, 100%. CM is for countermeasures, so if I press that, I'll use my shields, and CM is white, and then after the shields are depleted, I'll get a countdown of when I can use them again. GR is for gravity mode, so if I default middle mouse button, I can toggle that on and off. When it's red, it has Newtonian physics, so if I press forward and let go, I'll keep going forward, and I can turn around, and I'm going to continue going in the direction I thrusted. So that is useful for, you can use your boost to max speed and let go of boost, and I'll continue going max speed boosted. Whereas if I turn off Newtonian physics to screw gravity mode. I'll just go to the max speed that default my ship can go without boost. Gravity mode is worth getting used to because it allows you to do some pretty good tricks while fighting other fighters. Alright, that's that. Guided rockets, you can hold down the button and they will lock on and you release to fire. So rockets are pretty good for when you're first learning the game. Shoot. Mines are semi-guided, so they're attracted to enemies if they get close. So what I like to do is, when I'm capping a flag, I'll just drop a few, and they'll exist as long as you stay alive. So then when the other team comes back to capture the flag, I can occasionally get kills or at least do damage. And that's it for fighters.